Hello and welcome back to another video. Today we're talking about an anime, which is pretty typical for this channel. Today we'll be talking about A While the Last Boss Appears. That's the English name, which is a pretty popular anime. I've been watching it this season. Basically, if you don't know the plot, in one of those video game isekai where a character or a player of a character gets reincarnated in the video game world. This one is set in the future where they've been defeated in the past and they've been reincarnated as their character being summoned in the future. So we're going to make a video, I think it was last week. It's about to be the newest episode, it's about to come out. So in the previous episode, not the one I just watched, but so 2 episodes again, probably when you're seeing this, it was sort of implied that Dina, one of the characters, is perhaps not what she seems. So when they're in the village with the Heaven Winged, she's seen waiting for someone, and that person ends up getting delayed, which is one of the demons, one of the bad guys of the show. And we later see at the end of the episode, the person, or a character, who's shown up in the previous episode, called Venus or Alpha Venus, whatever it is, was also waiting for someone, which is the bad guy. So it seems that it is the same person that Dina was probably waiting for, which makes it seem that maybe she's doing something bad, maybe she's bad, she's playing both sides, I'm not exactly sure. But in this latest episode, that is basically confirmed, where she gets him to get killed. She's got powers. She conveniently takes away one of the characters who could defeat him right before their plan to invade, conveniently using a teleportation ability, which is something that's unique to her, right after that other character promises, the Alpha Venus character promises to help get rid of her for a moment of time. Also, at the end, before he dies, bad character, I forget his name, basically accuses her of not being someone who could be trusted right before he gets killed, which it implies that is the case. Also, in the previous episode, there was some suspicion about Dina from the protagonist, Lufus, which sort of confirms it, and it's confirmed essentially at this point. Another thing, in the ending credits, you can see Dina, it's basically all Dina in the real world, which implies that maybe Dina is a bit more than just a side character. So I was going to originally make a video saying that, but obviously it's been confirmed at this point, so there's not really a point, but another theory I've had, which I think is fairly certain from what I've seen, is that looking back at the first episode when Lufus is summoned, it occurs after the protagonist interacts with a message sent from the goddess. Something interesting about that is the goddess is also named Alpha Venus, at least that's what he calls her, so I'll assume that's the name, which means that the same character is also the name of the bad guy who's been helping the demons. So I'm not sure whether it's the case of them playing both sides, where perhaps they are trying to get both sides to like them, so they're sort of climbing the ranks by making it look like they're helping that side, killing them off, and then making that look like, and using it to make like they're a good guy, so they're basically climbing the ranks on both sides using their both identities. But the goddess isn't just called Alpha Venus. You can also, but it's a bit hard to see because their face is covered, but they've got blue hair, which is the same as Dina, so that sort of confirms it. So is Dina actually the goddess? I don't know for certain, but it certainly seems just looking like that. It's a pretty good chance. An additional thing was that Dina also knows about photographs, whereas none of the other characters do, which sort of implies that she knows more about the real world outside the actual game. So perhaps in the ending sequence where you do show Dina in the real world, while it is the character from the games also represents someone from the real world, perhaps Dina is also being controlled, or is someone reincarnated as the goddess, or whoever Dina is actually supposed to be, and she's from the real world, and that ending seems supposed to represent that yes, she does actually know things about the real world, because she is from the real world as well, just like the protagonist Lufus has come from the real world. Another point with the ending sequence, it does show what seems to portray Dina as being a bad character, presuming the imagery that is shown. So does that also mean that she is actually a bad character overall, and she's not just playing both sides? She is trying to get close to Lufus for whatever reason, and using her mind manipulation ability, she's sort of accomplishing that. She does also have a lot of strong abilities, for example, the teleportation, the mind manipulation, that type of thing, which none of the other characters have, especially the X-Gate ability, which is what the whole game is made about. And that required a whole group of people to be able to actually perform, to actually summon Lufus, and it's the same skill or something similar, even though it's different to the way it's portrayed with Dina. But with something like that, does that mean that there's more going on, where she is actually a bad character? perhaps that is who Luffy is supposed to be fighting about. Not exactly sure. So what do you think? If you like the video, really comment down below your thoughts and ideas, and subscribe so you can see videos like this in the future.